I'm Jordan Mower, the founder and head brewer of UnBarred, and today we're going to do a UnBarred at home. We're going to do a little home brew, a home brew kit that we've made. We got invited by Radio Reverb to come on the show and discuss things to do during lockdown, and it evolved to making a very small home brew kit, a very DIY approach to home brewing with everything that hopefully you've got laying around the house. At the end of it you should get 4 litres of beer, so just a little fun project. I'm currently at home myself, clearly, so I've got my son Rudy, just put him to sleep, so I've got the monitor on, and Jay goes dressed as PJ Mask at the moment. He might come in and give us a hand. So yeah, let's have a look, see what we've got in the home brew kit. These are the pots I'm using. I'm lucky enough to have a home brew pot that is about 40 litres. You only need 10 for the main pot, pot 1. And pot 2, I'm just using a casserole dish, and that's got the water we'd use to sparge with, or basically adds to the grains at the end of mash to stop the enzymes working. So I'm heating that up now, and we'll start weighing out the grains. Now we're heating up pot 1 with 3.25 litres of water. We're going to get that up to 71 degrees. Whilst we're doing that, we're going to put our malts into these muslin bags. I'm going to use 2. You need to tie one end up, fill the bags, and then tie the other end. Okay, I've got my water there, 71, steaming up. Turned it down to the lowest flame setting. In fact, I'll turn it off and I'll put the grains in. Bag 1, bag 2, and I'm going to use my spoon to get them as saturated in the grains as possible, move them around, get them covered, and we want to steep those for 60 minutes. Set your timer now. About halfway into our mash, and the grains are nicely absorbed, all that water there, and what's happening in there is the enzymes in the grains are converting the starches down to simple sugars, and that sugary wort is what we make as brewers, and then the yeast turns that wort into beer. So whilst that's going, I'm heating up pot 2. That's going to be the water that we add to the end of our mash to stop those enzymes working, and we can start boiling our wort. So at the end of the mash, I've got my second pot, got the water to the temperature I want there, and I'm going to pour that in on top of those grains. We won't need that pot anymore. Everything is now in this pot, and we'll finish in this pot. So what I want to do is I want to get those grains out. You can reuse them. Some people make granola bars out of them. You want to do it fairly quickly because they will start to degrade. We send all our grains to a local pig farm, where they get collected every time we brew from Roger. Here's the grains. I'm going to stick that bag on the side and use the spoon there just to squeeze out most of that sugary wort. Whilst that's coming up to the boil, you can get your hops. So we're going to get our leaf hops, mosaic leaf. cut the bag open. And they're pretty tight in there, vacuum packed them, so you want to loosen them up.
Let me smell them.
You smell them.
They smell like beer.
They smell like beer.
Smell them.
They're nice. So with mosaic you get sort of tropical, fruity, passion fruit. They're a good all-round go-to hops that most people like. What do they what?
What do they smell like?
Tropical fruits and citrusy fruits. And passion fruit. Do you want to put the rest in for me?
All of it.
Yeah, put all of them in there. Okay. I'm just going to loosen them all up so they get good contact with the beer, with the wort, should I say. So they're the pellets. They'll go into the beer when it's fermenting. So when the yeast eats the sugar, what does it make? Beer. And that's when we put the pellets in. So the pellets break up nice and easy and they fall down to the bottom of the fermenter. And they impart some flavour and mostly aroma. So those hops are nicely tied. We'll tie them up in the bag. And they're ready to go in 55 minutes into the boil, or at the end of the boil when we turn it out, which we call flame out. You can see the hops in there. Getting the last 5 minutes of the boil. As soon as the timer goes, we'll be turning this off. We're now at the end of the boil, and I have put some foil around the top. Now everything that's in here has been boiled and there's been steam and made this environment side there sterile, so it's a safe place to pitch our yeast, just not at this temperature. So I'm going to take this upstairs and put this in the bath with some water and ice to cool it down. I'll keep checking the temperature with my temperature probe and make sure I clean it with, just use hand sanitizer, just to make sure you're not putting anything you don't want to in there and causing the contamination. When it comes down to pitch and temperature, also take out your bag of hops. Brought my work back down here now, that's down to about 18 degrees. And now I'm going to pitch my yeast. This is dried yeast. And you sprinkle that over the top. That will then hydrate itself with the wort and start fermenting. The yeast is in there. That's going to start eating into the wort, creating our beer. It creates CO2 during fermentation. You'll be able to take a sneak peek and you'll see that in there will be a little foam, little pillow on top there that shows that it's fermenting away. About a week's time that should drop, that krausen will fall back into the beer, and then we'll have about 5% of beer, 4 litres of it hopefully. That's when you want to add your dry hops or pellets. Pellets will be absorbed within 3 days. That's enough aroma and flavour that we want to impart from them. If you leave it a week at warm, you'll start getting more of the grassy notes of what the leaves and the dry matter are, and the nice volatile oils that we want from there. If you can, after 3 days with the hops in, get it into the fridge to cool it down as cold as possible. If you don't have that option, you can't fit it into the fridge, it's no problem. But after 3 days, you want to then start getting this off into your bottles. Use some sort of fizzy drink bottle that can hold good pressure, and you want to add sugar, just normal table sugar, at about 4 grams per litre. Close the lid, don't open that lid until you can squeeze it nice and tight. That means it's carbonated and there's good pressure in there, and then it's ready to pour. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for getting the kit, and much appreciated Radio Reverb inviting us onto the show. And thank you absolutely everyone for your support.